Hi, everybody. This is Joe Maldonado and Karen Paolino Korea, and we are here to talk about, well, I'm not going to really that much talking. It's mostly Karen, how to meet your guardian angels. Welcome, Karen, and thank you so much for coming today.
Uh, I'm glad to be here. I love talking about this.
I know you do. And, they are so much angels. They are so much a part of my life, and it's just, I'm just thrilled to have you on. I think I first started following you. Was it the 101 book on how to meet your angels?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that book?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that book, 101 Ways to Meet Your Angels and the Everything Guide to Angels, really was a shock because the publisher came to me and asked me to write the book. And at first I thought, oh, I don't know if I can do that. And then I thought, this is divine destiny. I had tried to publish my first book, What Would Love Do? And it just didn't seem to be going anywhere. And then this one dropped in my lap. And I said, well, obviously the divine is saying we want you to write this book and it needs to be first. So
Mhm.
the book, is about helping people. That's my passion, is helping people to connect, communicate, and understand that we all have a divine family of many and that they are part of our family and they want to assist from the other realms and they want to support us on our journey. And most importantly, the two big things that I'm a messenger of is that they always say you are never, ever alone and you are loved unconditionally. And so we don't have to walk this human journey alone. We can have divine grace, divine assistance, divine protection, divine support, divine miracles, that it is our divine birthright to be one with our divine family.
Mhm. I
So
love
the
that
book
phrase,
is,
divine birthright. I love that phrase.
yeah. And the books, those two books are absolutely about giving readers the tools, the techniques, the prayers. I walk through them myself and I'm not, I try and tell every people we just had this discussion before everybody came on that
Yeah.
we see ourselves as normal human beings that are walking the life journey like everybody else. My guardian angel came into my life when I was going through cancer and I was lost, confused, afraid, and I had not been open to anything spiritual, anything not seen that I could touch, feel, understand that was, you know, proof to me, but
Mhm.
it happened spontaneously and it made me feel incredible, even though I was feeling awful, afraid, and confused. So it gave me comfort. It helped me to know I wasn't alone because I literally spent 2 weeks in isolation after having a high dose of radiation. So
Mhm.
I had my guardian angel by my side. I laughed, cried, and I wanted, after that experience, I wanted to connect deeper and understand more, experience more, but also share it with other people. And the books help me to be a messenger.
Mhm.
We do have a divine family of many, and they are here for all of us.
Yeah, yeah. I think in a time, I know so many people now that are going through a lot of challenges, medical challenges, family challenges. We thought COVID was a challenge. For me, it was a time to go inward and, just re-examine who I was and, where my path will take me. But for a lot of people, it wasn't like that. They felt very isolated. But I think that term of isolation and fear that you mentioned when you were going through your treatments, I think that I know I see a lot of people that are on here that they could probably resonate with those kind of emotions and feelings, and I find it a great comfort,
Yeah.
when they just come forward and just knowing that I am never alone. I am never alone. And I think you actually you do tutor people. You have fantastic programs that are available. Everybody, if you just go on our website and click on Karen on our instructors for the year, all her links are there, as to the programs that she offers, her websites and all that. It is a great privilege indeed, to have you with us today. But I just get to say personally, because I know you, it's like, oh my God, hugs to you. Yeah, and somebody, was
Well,
that
and
you
I think
typing
the
it in? Create
angels,
Heaven?
yeah, createheaven.com.
Yeah.
The angels, they're here to uplift humanity. And they're not just here for that. They're here. There's so many different messengers and guides and teachers
Hmm.
but you know, if it can feel very alone um in walking the journey, because so many people do have trials and tribulations.
Hmm.
And but I love the footprints in the sand poem and everything. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I see the divine. Sometimes our divine helpers, our guardian angel, are walking in front of us, showing us the way. Sometimes I feel like they're walking beside us in comfort and support. And sometimes I feel like they're walking behind us and saying, come on,
Go
come on.
ahead, you could do it. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then sometimes they lift us up and literally carry us. And people, one of the I had to include a chapter in Everything Guide to Angels about people's miracles, because I wanted
Hmm.
people to understand that I'm not the only one that has, miracles,
Hmm.
experiences that, people that never had believed before, they shared their miracles. And some were divine intervention when they were thought they were going to die, and all of a sudden something happened where they were. I remember my sister said, she was kind of like, I don't know, Karen, this is a little bit woo woo, and didn't understand when I was going through my experiences and my sharing. But one night she had been working a lot and was working late, and she fell asleep at the wheel, and she heard her name being called, and she felt somebody wake her up. And after that, she's like, I know I wasn't making that up. I know it happened. And then therefore, that specific divine intervention
Yeah,
opened her up to believing that, there are things that miracles can happen,
yeah.
intervention can happen.
So I know one of the questions that we had posed for today's discussion was, do you have to have special gifts to communicate with your guardian angel?
It's so funny. That's like one of the chapters in the book. You don't have to
A whole
be,
chapter.
yeah, well, I mean, the title, you don't have to earn, you don't have to be gifted, you don't have to be special, you don't even have to, everybody's intuitive. When people say I'm not intuitive, it's not true.
Right.
We sense things, we feel things, we see things, we hear things. So we all have the senses to be open to connection and communication. All you have to do is be open, have desire, and ask. And
Right.
that's it.
Right.
So, that's what I encourage people to do. Just what the biggest thing is that the divine, we have free will and free choice. That was our greatest gift coming into this earth plane. And so we have to be, unless it's a life-threatening situation, we have to invite and ask for support and intervention to occur. So that's, they're waiting.
Mhm.
And everybody, you know, this is what I'm going to share in the workshop, is that everybody has at least two guardian angels.
Uh-huh, that was my next question.
Right.
Mhm.
And guardian angels are not, they are, your guardian angels are not my guardian angels. So
Right.
guardian angels are messengers from God. They've really never been in a physical body. Ascended masters have been in a physical body, Jesus, Mary, Buddha, Kuan Yin.
Yeah.
But guardian angels are etheric beings of light and love, and they are messengers. They are the bridge to heaven and earth. And so we all have, when we birthed into this life plane, my analogy, when we birth into this life experience, if anybody's had a smooth, easy, peaceful, no challenging journey, then I'm going to go live with them. But most
Yeah.
likely that's not the case with people. And our divine creator knew
Yeah.
that we would feel alone at times, that we would need help and support, that we would need comfort and guidance. And so we were gifted
Yeah.
at least two guardian angels to walk by our side. Now, can you imagine? I I always sense this when I help people, which we're going to do in the workshop. When I help people connect and communicate with their guardian angels, I almost feel like they're like cheerleaders jumping up and down. We gonna, like, there's no time and space in their realm, but they're patiently waiting. And can you imagine, like, we have time, they don't have time, but can you imagine in the airplane waiting 50 years to notice that somebody's right there, there to support and help you all
Yeah.
the time, and turn and look and say, oh my God, there so um I just can imagine, because I feel they're, not that they have excitement, it's hard to, it's energy, but I can feel the energy of joyfulness, that
Yes.
we are open to receiving, we are open to allow that to happen, we are open to connect.
Yeah, yeah. I know in that meditation that you did on the manifesting class that you taught recently it was so profound. I mean, I felt
That
like
was
I was
really powerful. I
I was
remember
yeah, it was really powerful. I mean, I just like when I woke up, I was disappointed. I'm like, wow, these visions were so clear and bright. And I mean, it was just a plethora of feathers and angels and love. The love was amazing.
it.
So I
I don't know. It's really interesting. I have to say, I remember when I was getting certified in yoga, my yoga teacher,
Mhm.
she's just like, I want you to facilitate a meditation group. I'm like, no way, I'm not going to do that. That I don't even know to do and everything. But she saw something, but I have to say that that is one of my natural, effortless abilities, to be able to go into oneness with the divine or the soul.
Mhm.
And because I do Mother Mary meditations and messages
Mhm.
almost every month, every other month. And for some reason I can just go into that oneness, and I have no idea what's going to happen during the meditation, but it just moves through me. And
Yeah.
that day that we did that, and I it's so interesting because, again, I don't have any idea, but I still,
Mhm.
like, I'm launching this new membership community called Awaken My True Self. And I'm in the 3 weeks of doors being open. I've been working on it for 6 months, and I'm like, I get into my own stuff. And that meditation we did, as I remember, we held like a dove representing what we were holding
Oh, wow.
and what we needed help with. And I swear to God, I'm on my walks and I'm like, here, like, and because we can get in our own way. We were just talking about that
Yep,
beforehand.
we were.
So they love to give, like, I just posted on my Facebook page, they love to give simple, powerful, like, the ego is complex, right? And it likes to
Mhm.
make things difficult or huge,
Challenging.
challenging. But the divine is they give simple, powerful techniques that are, yeah, because they want us to, it's not, we're making it difficult.
Yeah, yeah. There was a question here. Someone asked, can one's guardian angel be an archangel?
You know, I definitely feel that. So this is how I describe it. You know, we can have certain, like Mother Mary, I call her a guide. She's like one of my guides that stays closer, comes, I just,
Mm-hmm.
there's an agreement between us,
Yep.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that can be the same thing with an archangel. I really believe our guardian angels, like people usually ask me, are our loved ones in spirit our guardian angels? And they absolutely can feel like guardian angels because they stay so close to us. But our
Mm-hmm.
guardian angels, I really feel are personally assigned to literally be by our side the entire journey. I feel like archangels help all of humanity. They can be with all of us simultaneously. So I do feel they can be with you simultaneously and may feel very, very close and be a guide, a teacher, a master for you. So it's 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 language, but there's so many divine helpers. I just feel guardian angels have their own, just like we have gifts and talents and roles that we play here on earth. I feel like it's the same thing there. And the guardian angels are there to be of personal assistance to somebody walking the earth plane from their first breath to the
Mm-hmm.
last breath.
Yes, yes, yes. I had, one of the questions that I had lined up was, um, will be able to communicate and find the names of our guardian angels
Yeah.
in your class.
Yeah. So
I do. I know their names. I've
I
known that
know,
for a
well,
long
here's
time,
the
but
thing.
not everybody's me. So,
Here's the thing. I really don't think guardian angels have names. I don't think they have genders.
right.
Okay. But here's the big but.
Hmm.
We are human. We interconnect, interrelate, human to human,
Yeah.
name to name, um, female to male. And so I feel that they give a name because it helps us to feel closer. Like if I just say, hey, yo, and I didn't know Joe, but I just say, yo, you. But if I call you Joe or if I call Heidi, that's an immediate welcome, an openness to
Hmm.
connect on a deeper level. And I feel our guardian angels gift us their name so we can connect deeper and feel a
Hmm.
deeper connection through a name.
Right, right. So I remember I did this years ago, and I was reading lots of angel materials, and I'm like, I always get two names when I'm looking for angels for a specific thing. That so guardian angel. So I heard Helena Ezekiel. So it was always so Helena Ezekiel. Okay, so is it Helena or Ezekiel, or is it Helena and Ezekiel, or is it just one word? And then I just heard I'm asking too many questions. Just go with it, pretty much. So I did, and that's the way it's. When I communicate with them, that's how I address it. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean. It's kind of like when you give a dog a name. You know,
exactly.
it's like because we are human and we have to have an identification with that animal, and that's how us humans see it.
Exactly. That's
Right?
exactly how it is.
Yeah. So we have a few questions. Is there a reason it's two angels and not one or three?
Yeah. So I said at least two guardian
At
angels. So
least two.
what's interesting is the numbers can vary. Like my daughter, when she was very young, she called them her imaginary friends, but I knew it was her
Oh,
guardian
yeah.
angels. And
Mhm.
she said Kanie, Cheney, and Elizabeth.
Oh,
And again, she didn't even know those names. How could she make that up? But she called
yeah.
them Amy, Janie, and Elizabeth. And I knew she was talking to her guardian angels. Now, one thing I heard or read somewhere, and again, investigate for yourself, ask for yourself, but this really resonated with me, is that when uh when your soul is preparing for a journey, and let's say you're going to be working with many people or in difficult situations, like my daughter works, she worked with troubled teens first, now she works in the
Mhm.
schools, like, so it made sense that she had three. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So
Yes.
if somebody has, like, I think the president, if they are open to their guardian angels, must have a ton of guardian angels. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
I do.
think, they're not just be open and see what comes to you. There's no set. I feel comforted to know that we at least all have two of them.
Yeah. 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 And more.
Yeah.
Um, is there a reason they were lost or forgotten for most people? And how does the creator that wanted them to help us feel about that not happening? But that's like, I feel like I'm handing the mic over to creator. Well, how do
I
you
know.
feel about that?
I know. I don't have all the answers for
I
sure.
know. I
No,
know.
I know that. I know nothing. Um, so say the question again.
Uh-huh. Is there a reason they, meaning the angels, were lost or forgotten for most people? And how does the creator that wanted them to help us feel about that not happening?
Well, I don't know how the creator feels about that not happening, but I can say that, we get so, like, let's use my daughter as an example. She was very open as a child, very innocent, very much coming from that realm, into this realm, and with openness and connection. And then as she had to conform to fitting in with friends and family members, are like, there's no such thing as imaginary friends, even though my
Mhm,
mother was saying, I think those are your angels.
mhm,
Society adapting, coming into a personality, and we do shut it down because we get so involved in this human existence, and we start feeling more comfortable with our ego conditioned self versus our divine self. And
mhm,
so that's what I feel part of my purpose is, to awaken to my divine self while I'm here on this earth plane, and guide other people if they're open to as well, because we are
mhm,
first and foremost a divine being in a human experience. Once we take off this costume, when we leave this earth plane,
mhm,
move on as our divine soul.
mhm,
And so, I feel like we drop into forgetfulness because of the conformity of living in this earth plane. But I have no idea how creator. I think what I've sensed with the angels, they're pure unconditional love. There's no question about patience and understanding. They accept absolutely just what is, and where you're at, and
mhm,
how you're moving, and if you turn the switch off or you turn the switch on. They
mhm.
don't have an attachment.
Right. And then, of course, there's earth angels too.
Yeah, absolutely. How
Mhm,
many? I mean, we all have earth angels. Do we recognize them as earth angels? I don't know. I
right.
know I recognize my earth angels.
Mhm, mhm.
And some of our earth angels play our villains, not our nice guardians, right?
Yep, yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because
Yeah,
they're our teachers in disguise.
exactly. Yeah.
That a great book. If you guys don't have this book, I'm sitting by my bookcase so I can pull it out. A great book is a Little Soul in the Sun. If you don't have this book,
Oh,
it
that's so
oh, it's just such a beautiful version of what I just talked about.
Oh, nice.
A Little Soul in the Sun by Neil Donald Walsh. Great book. I have two of them in here. So,
Just
yeah,
happen to have an extra one.
I know.
Okay, I'll take it. Next question. Do they stay our full lifetime or do they sometimes change? You mean like
Well,
as in change it up? Maybe somebody else comes in at some point and
yeah. So I feel like our guardian angels stay consistent, but our guides, our teachers, archangels, ascended masters, I feel like, some of them come in as teachers. Like I know I've had guides and masters helping me write books, some of my books. And then there are times where you're learning something new that, I have one of my clients, she channels Saint Hildegard, and she's a nurse. So
oh,
yeah,
nice.
so I feel like sometimes our divine helpers, that's why I say we have a divine family of many. I feel like our guardian angels are right with us. I feel like
Mhm,
other ones come and go. Yeah.
mhm.
It's like the earth plane, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, on okay, so the class was changed. I hope everybody's okay with this to November 20th.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. No big deal. We are just swooshing over to the 20th. So if you can just tell us a little bit, what can we expect to be doing with you on the 20th?
Yeah, so on the 20th, I'll talk a little bit about your guardian angels, but I also want to talk about how they can assist you in your life, in your relationships,
Hmm.
in your purpose, in protection, and then we will do meditation, helping you connect and communicate.
Hmm.
I will guide you the whole entire way. We'll do a little bit of automatic writing when we come
Love
out.
that. Yeah. Hmm.
And I will probably use some cards as we're doing the automatic writing.
Hmm.
And we'll do some sharing and questions.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
If you could think of all the angel stories you've heard, what or do you have a most powerful story that just resonates with you or just sticks out in your mind as wow? I mean, I'm sure they're all wow, but is there any one of those?
Well, the one that it's interesting. One came to me. I probably will share a couple, but one came to me. I'll never forget. Did meet your guardian angel in a large group, and of course, people share at the end, but some people stay silent because they're a little overwhelmed or they don't know what just happened.
Yeah.
And I remember a gentleman coming as a one-on-one client, and he came and he said he had no expectations. He actually went with his wife, and his wife wanted him to go, and he was like, and he literally he said he's never felt that kind of peace in his life. It
Mm.
lasted 4 months
Wow.
that he stepped into oneness in the divine realm in some way. And again, I'm sure it was part of his journey, but he said it lasted for 4 months, that he was kind of in that blissful, peaceful place. So that was, I mean, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
2 hour class, what, right? 1 hour and a half, 2 hour class. And then the other is, I get to hear stories all the time. When I teach my 8-week angel messenger class, people are on this 8 to 9 week journey of adding divine helpers. I have them work with a different divinity every week, and I ask them to invite miracles, intervention, help,
Hmm.
support in their lives. And people, people, the miracles come in all different ways. They can come in the angels sending a messenger with a earthly messenger to bring a message or to intervene in support, which that is amazing to me. And that person, like, I've had somebody that they, some people have gotten messengers and went back to find the messenger and they couldn't.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep,
And,
I do.
I remember a beautiful story. I'm getting chills as I'm saying this one.
Mm-hmm.
A beautiful story. This girl was going for chemotherapy and she's going to the hospital and she was really in a tough place. And she just asked for a sign. She got back to her car and there was like literally somebody had put an angel, the angels put an angel right on the hood of her car. And can you imagine? I'm getting chills as I'm saying it, but
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
that
Uh-huh.
brought her so much comfort and peace,
Yes.
So, I mean, I've heard so many different ones, but it's funny because I just posted this morning. I said, I'm doing a free masterclass tomorrow. And, if you want the information, I'll send it to you. Just email me at Karen Karen at createheaven.com. But I put it out there. I said, because the workshop is called Transform Your Fears into Miracles. And, I said, what does anybody want to share a miracle moment? Because one thing that I've realized is, and this is part of my new monthly membership, is I'm doing a miracle moments gathering. And why I'm doing that and why I feel it's so powerful, because I love people to keep a miracles journal.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like when we open up and start noticing, miracles are everywhere, right? But
Yes.
sometimes we're walking around like this, we're walking around like this, we're walking around
Yep.
like this.
Mhm.
And so when people start sharing their miracle moments, if you share a miracle moment, then it opens me up to, well, that's a possibility that I can bring into my life. And this is what happened in the Angel Messenger class. People would come in each week sharing their miracles. And all of a sudden somebody said, well, if she could open up to that, then I can too. And then they would
Mhm.
open up to it and they would have their miracle. So sometimes we're so like this in this world, that we're not opening up. There's so much more than what we're seeing. Um, and
Mhm.
so when we open up to say, I want to see, I want to be open, I want to experience, then it happens, right?
Mhm. So I'm just looking at the time and we're running a little bit over. So I want to thank you officially on the recording very much so, Karen, for coming today. Everybody else, we're going to hang for just about 5 minutes after the recording, just 5, if it's okay with you, Karen. Okay. And you can continue asking Karen questions, but for now, Karen Paolino Correa and I thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you on the 20th.
Yay!